Yo, no maniacs. Welcome to the show. This is Nomad Live, all bears all the time, in conjunction with Sports Zone Chicago. And my guy, Superback Sean Sierra, and my guy Keith Harris Sr. I found out was not a junior, he is a senior. And I've been butchering it the whole time I've known him. And so his kids running around thinking he's the daddy, and that ain't right. So I gotta apologize to my guy Keith right here on air, man. I'm sorry about that, man. But hey, guys, welcome again to the show, man. What we came here to talk about today is the introduction of Shane Waldron and a little bit about Eric Washington, who I thought his introduction to the Bears fan base again was very, very impressive and full of nuanced information that really, if you follow me on Twitter, is music to my ears, because when you hear a guy, a coordinator that speaks to the nuance that made that defense what it was in Buffalo, the things that took place, the dynamics that they played with, and using the talent that they had, I think it was more impressive, a lot more impressive than the Shane Waldron interview. But I digress, because the Shane Waldron interview is the one that's getting the most attention for obvious reasons, being Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, and that whole thing. But we're going to talk about it, man. I wrote down a list of key words in his statement in sequence of when they were said, and line by line, we're going to stop. We're going to talk about each little bit of it, and we're going to get our own takes on. I don't want to be the only one interpreting what I heard my own way. That's why we got people on the show, so they can take from it what they did, and you guys can do the same thing. And so that's what we're here to do, man. I felt good about what I heard. I think what I heard sounded to me like it really did sound like a thumbs up to Justin Fields to me. I'm not gonna over exaggerate that, but that's what it sounded like to me. You can call me one of those. I might be willfully ignorant to what you think might be the fact that Caleb Williams is going to be drafted. I don't think so, but we'll go over all of that and get into detail about it. But first, let's just go around the horn real quick and give an introduction to you.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Hey, no maniacs, what's going on today on this Friday afternoon? Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Yeah, it's going to be interesting today, man. I'm ready to dive into it. Good afternoon, my brother Sean. How you doing?
I am wonderful, bro. I'm telling you, great workout this morning. Great workout this morning. Great show, Sean and Maya in the morning today from 9 to 11. Man, just had some good lunch, rib and chicken combo. You guys were talking about chicken earlier. I was at the patio, and then I have to do this shit, talking with two dope brothers. Who's got it better than me? Nobody.
Hey, you know what? I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to is a good 2-day weekend for me, but almost a 3-day weekend. But we do have a show to do Sunday at 8 p.m. Central. 8 p.m. Central Sunday for Nomad at Night, guys. Tune in and set your notifications for that. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to a little bit of downtime. It's my girlfriend's weekend off, and she thinks she owns my time when it comes to that, man. So
Hey,
you don't want that
quality
interrupt.
time, brother. Quality time.
A whole lot of comfortable. Hey, see, he's not lying. Hey, just a whole lot of comfortable clothes, man. Little sippy sip. Good pajamas, man, and some Netflix. Man, you know how it is, man.
Grown folks time.
Yeah, grown folks stuff, man. Good
All right,
food.
so if you got 90s hip hop in the background, low, nice and low, you know what I'm saying? It's okay.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. A little Wu Tang. You know what I mean? A little Wu Tang. Yes, sir.
man.
Some
R&B.
Rakim.
There's a little R&B in there, for the lady. Or let her choose.
Oh yeah, a little 112. Some necks. Yes, sir.
And there goes my guy KB. He got here this time, man. This time we're gonna be able to get full dialogue from this time. Let me get him in here. Get KB in the stage.
There we go.
What up?
On,
Yes, sir.
Hey, B!
KB in the house.
KB's up in hell yeah!
So I was just introing the show, KB, and I was just telling them, I took down some notes in sequence of when they were said. I don't have the questions, but I will just surmise what was asked to them. And we're just going to chop it up, man, and do our own interpretation of what we know versus what we just heard. And we'll go from there, man. And just if you feel like it, man, just give everybody a little shout out if you want to before we get
Hey man, that's what I'm saying, man. Shout out to the boys, man, getting on here with y'all again. This time I'm on time, I'm 5-6 minutes late. Hey man, but your boy is here, man. I appreciate y'all having me on. Shout out to everybody in the chat and shout out to everybody behind the scenes, man. We love y'all, man.
Hey man, your presence is very welcome around here at any time, man. So I appreciate you for being here. But let's get into it, man. Let's go ahead and let's not waste no more time. All right, in sequence here. This is the first words from the first questions asked to him. Very simply, but he used this word quite often during the presser, and it was about being adaptable, and it was in reference to, I believe, the question went along the lines of versus the things that he saw and what he planned to bring to the table, being adaptable. What I took from it was, looking at the film, it was pretty obvious, guys. We got rid of the offensive coordinator for a reason. One reason was he couldn't adapt on the fly. In-game scenarios, he could not adapt to what was being presented to him. And he kind of kept trying to do the same thing over and over. We know that. Screen passes and different things like that, and kind of putting us behind the 8 ball. And so being Shane Waldron, I'm sure that that's the first thing that he noticed on film was that could have been a whole lot better if you were adaptable with the pieces that you have. And so let's just start right there. And another thing that was said was adjusting the scheme to the player's skill set. So we'll just tackle those two things and get going right here. Go ahead, Key.
For me, I read into it the same way you did, primarily, especially with the scheme calling, the different plays that were called prior to now. I think what they're really looking to do is build an entire offense around all the skill sets, not just the quarterback, but also the receiver room, including the running game. I'm really excited because I think that they're getting ready to really tap into some things, both on the quarterback level as well as with the wide receivers. Because if you think about our wide receiver room, I think we have one of the fastest wide receiver rooms in the league. And for whatever reason, we couldn't get any separation. But I believe with the new with the quarterback coach, along with the wide receiver coach, and with Shane Waldron at the helm, I think they're going to be able to really put together a dynamic offense that can really accentuate the different skill levels and skill sets for everybody on that offensive side of the ball.
Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, what I said earlier on an earlier show was, Velus Jones, get him involved. Like, you get that man involved. Come on, man. That dude he got that purse snatching speed, man. Like, you ain't catching that joker. No. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be at the safety in the middle of the field with an angle to have a chance because that dude's fast. He is, and we just couldn't get him on track last year. All right, he fumbled a couple of the punts and the kickoffs or two, his rookie year, and it was like, and that kind of soured people on him, soured the staff on him, rightfully so. But they didn't do anything for his confidence. They didn't do anything for his confidence. Get him the ball in space, get him on some slants, get him on some hitches, get him on, some things like that to allow him to break tackles. He's built like a running back. All right, he's got thick thighs. All right, he can bounce off. We've seen him bounce off people. So I think when you talk about maximizing skill set and being adaptable, he's going to try. And maybe he can finally get Debo like touches, right, in a jet sweep, in the backfield, on screens, on shovel passes, a whole bunch of things. Just get him the ball, and once he starts getting confidence, man. If you have to worry about that dude, if you got to worry about that dude, then you got DJMoore behind him. You got Cole Kmet, whoever we draft as a wide receiver, on the other side. Like, you can't be worried about dudes like that. And if we're able to maximize him and make you worry about him, it's gonna be a long season for a lot of people, man. So his adaptability is what's huge, and I think it sounds like, he talked when he said that right away. I thought of Justin. Right, and part of it could be my bias, okay, but that's the thing, is that scheme that Getsy ran he didn't adapt it to the skill set of Justin. You have to do it, period, and he didn't. So, and you could also take it as adapted to him or to the college quarterback to be named later, whatever. But Me personally, I just thought adapted it to it fit. I thought he was speaking about Justin Fields.
Go ahead, KB.
Yeah, man. I mean, echoing kind of what they were saying, bro. You got a coach that came out. You know what I'm saying? The talk is one thing, but you kind of seen how he was using players and deploying the offense over there in Seattle. You played at the strengths of the players that you have. I would love to see them get Valus going. Like I said, there's a different level of speed there with that kid. And I honestly don't think he was really put in a position to show what he's had. That's why we feel that he's a bust, because every time we've seen him on the field, it's been, he's only catching punts or, things of that nature. I, I'm just excited to see what the actual direction is going to be. Whether or not you want to call the offense that we're going to tailor toward Justin. You hear him saying that, the quarterback position can make explosive plays. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go from there, no matter who it is that's behind center. I mean, I think we all feel that Justin should be the quarterback that is behind center, and we feel like that'd be the best course of action going forward. He has he has the experience in the league, and he knows how to make plays, especially out of structure. So imagine somebody actually saying, "Hey, let's tailor this offense to things that you do well." And let's see about using some of these parts the way they should have been used. So, I mean, man, just I'm just excited to see what the future holds, man. To see we finally got an actual offensive coordinator in the building for once.
Well, the next statement I'm going to get into, but before I get into it, he mentioned explosive players. He liked the explosive players that were on the roster. And no, before we get into that part of the comment, talk about Valus Jones for a second. I believe, now don't quote me here, but I believe either Shane Waldron, um, I want to say Shane Waldron or Thomasbrown had some experience in this style of offense with a player that is a very good comp to Valus Jones. A very When I say the name, you're gonna immediately get it, and you're like, yes, that's what we need out of Valus Jones. And that player's name is Percy Harvin. If you guys remember him,
Florida.
Yes, sir.
so that's what in my mind, that's what I'm thinking they're thinking when they consider Valus Jones as a piece or a weapon in this roster. What kind of Percy Harvin plays can you get out of Valus Jones? I think the potential is huge. You just have to be creative on how you get him the ball, or not creative at all. You just line him up and let him run the ball, block it up well, and give him a chance to get out in the open field and make a play. Which is, they did that a couple of times. Why they went away from it is probably one of the reasons why Luke Getsy isn't here. But that comp for Valus Jones and Percy Harvin, you guys want to touch that real quick? But I see some potential, man. If you take that mindset with Valus Jones, if you think about Percy Harvin and what he did in that offense.
I
Yeah, that
mean,
does.
I
Go
was
ahead,
gonna say,
KB.
I
I just
can
want
see
to say,
that.
man, you know what I'm saying? Confidence is a hell of a thing, ain't it?
Yep.
That's
You
it
know what I'm
right
saying?
there.
I don't know if anybody, has really paid attention to the Chicago Bulls, knows basketball or whatnot. But we have one player on the team right now named Kobe White
Yes, sir.
that folks last year was like, man, maybe he'd be better just coming off the bench. I heard him even being put in the trade rumors.
Oh, he's been on the block for a couple years now. Yeah,
And
Yeah.
now you look at him, and Buddy's starting to get into that upper echelon of point guards in the league now.
dropping
Confident.
6, 7 dimes a game with 4 for 9 from beyond the arc, man. Heck
I mean,
yeah.
it's to the point where you want him to take that last shot if you need to,
I mean, I'm
which
not,
says a
and
lot.
I'm not here to big up Valus Jones like he's gonna be the big weapon next year. It's just to say, what I'm saying, what confidence can do for somebody when you get them a few touches. Valus Jones' game could absolutely translate to Percy Harvin's or Cordell Patterson level of impact. The kid is fast as shit. He can make all the moves in the world. He can hit the home run with the speed he has. But it's all about manufacturing touches for a player like that. I mean, getting them 2 or 3 touches a game doesn't do anything, especially when folks know what's going to happen when he comes on the field.
I'm gonna throw another player in there that we had, Tyreek Cohen. He's a bigger, faster Tyreek Cohen. and
Yep.
can be used in very similar ways. I mean, you can use him in so many different ways in different packages. I can just imagine the different packages. I mean, I would even go as far as lining him up in the backfield with Roshan,
Yes,
to
sir.
where it really make a defense wonder what are they getting ready to do. You know, um, Speed is something that you just can't coach. You know, and if you are able to, again, it's all about schemes. If you are able to scheme something up to put a guy in an advantage versus a defense that now has to figure out, oh man, we haven't seen this on tape. What are they getting ready to do? Now you at an advantage and the defense at a disadvantage. But you can move this guy around in so many different ways, man, to where each time the defense has to account for him. And if you just have what I consider a speed package, when you got all your blazers out there, I mean, man, the sky's the limit. And I've been a Valus Jones fan since they drafted him, and I just think that the kid has not been coached up.
And basically, I'm going to answer if Chris, if you don't mind pulling up FFG Styles' question. I guess he asked me yesterday and I didn't get to it. I'll answer it today. But yeah, it's just about, are you going to choose to use the weaponry that you have? He chose not to last year. He just chose not to use it. And that was a fatal flaw in my eyes. But I digress. Let me answer this question. FFG Style asks at Nomad, what do you think the nuances of the schemes will change for the better on both sides of the ball with our new coordinator scheme alterations based on all personnel?
Mm,
I can answer the offensive side of the ball pretty quickly and easily, as well as the defensive side of the ball. They're not gonna really get away from what worked for them. You could take the question down, uh, Brian, if you want to, but they're not going to get away from a whole lot of what they were doing last year, other than getting Justin under the center, getting some bootlegs, some nakeds, and getting out in the open. The other thing that's going to happen is that the layered route concepts. Some of the routes will be they will break on time, which they did not last year. You had a bunch of extended routes, and Justin had a certain amount of time to throw the ball because of pressure. And a lot of times you saw that they were still running routes while Justin was dodging pressure. I mean, that's not good when you think about an offensive coordinator job and a quarterback is out there looking terrible because his reads and progressions are still being ran while he's trying to avoid pressure. And so that you will see right away be different, man. You can see that in Waldron's scheme in Seattle. They were routes that would, if you got 1001, 1002, 1003 in an amount of time to throw the ball, they were routes that were breaking around that time. So the quarterback had the opportunity to throw the damn ball. That's not what happened for the most part and majority of the season last year. I will say that on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball, I think, will probably look probably the most different because here's an example of that. If you look at probably 85 to 90% of the Bears' defensive sets, as far as the front four goes, you tended to have four down linemen. So you got four guys with fingers in the dirt. And so now looking at the Buffalo defense and how they were multiple and kind of flexible with what they did with the defensive ends, you might see more like a two guys down with their hands in the dirt and two guys up, almost like a 3-4. You'll see a lot more of that than you probably will see about 50, 60% of four guys with their hands in the dirt. But you will definitely see guys falling back into coverage, getting more simulated blitzes and blitz zone packages, man. What they did in Buffalo worked really well. They were top of the league in pass pressure. So I just expect that. I think the defense, you'll see the biggest difference in the front four for the most part. The secondary, the linebackers, you'll see a slight change, but I don't think that much. So the front four is what I would pay attention to if I were you, FFG. Hopefully I answered that question for you. But let's get on. Let's get back down the road with these statements that we wrote down. Now this is a response. Here was a question being asked to Waldron. After being asked, this is him, after being asked what he's excited about as far as the pieces that are currently here. The first thing out of his mouth was excited, obviously, about the quarterback position and the ability to be explosive. do what you will with that statement.
Yep.
Sean, I'm gonna let you lead off with that one.
He already knows. All right. We already know what he's talking about. And then I'm sure you'll get to his other statements, which really may have, told a little bit of what they're going to do. But yeah, explosive quarterback. I mean, that's Justin Fields. All right. The fact of the matter is that, he was a season ago, he was one of the top 2, 3 most explosive players in the NFL. All right.
Yeah.
And it's a legitimate argument. He could have been number 1. Okay. Then they decided to change that.
Game.
They decided to change that. Okay. And I think that was the biggest issue. You don't just stop that. You took one of the biggest weapons away. I think he understands that Justin's legs are a valuable weapon, but also once Justin a passer. Think about when he works and gets all these little kinks out, when he gets his drop right, his drop back right, okay, and get that in time, on time and in rhythm. How much more dangerous will Justin be when he's picking you apart? Because now if he's picking you apart, you can't have a spy. You can't have a spy. Justin can go nuts. You have a spy, Justin can should pick you apart once his footwork gets better and his reads and his timing and his rhythm gets on track. So it's going to be a pretty bad situation for a lot of teams in the NFL, twice as bad as for teams in the NFC North because they see us twice. So the explosiveness they were talking about, that dude anywhere on the field could make a house call. Anywhere on the field. I don't know how much more explosive you want to be.
Okay, my take on it. This is where the hire of KerryJoseph is going to really come into play. A guy who was known as a dual threat quarterback in the CFL, led the CFL in both passing and rushing as a quarterback, but more importantly, understands the game at a level where he can help break it down and show Justin just when to really use his legs. And I don't expect to see as many design runs for Justin. I do expect to see him under center a lot more, which actually bodes well to his game. He played under center a lot, especially at Ohio State. So for those that think that he was not an under center quarterback, go back and watch his tape when he was at Ohio State. He played under center quite a bit. And that, to me, gives him a bigger advantage against the defenses than anything. And then with the running backs that we have, the level of threat that they're going to be able to impose on the defense, knowing that you have to account for the running backs as well as for Justin legs, but more importantly now, like you said, Sean, if you choose to put a spy on him, he's going to eat you up. And if you don't, he's going to pick you apart. So you're going to have to really choose your poison. If Shane Waldron and them do what I think they're going to do, which I already believe that they've had that conversation, and he's already been working out, and I'm pretty sure he's been working out on his footwork and different things to improve on that. I just think that it's getting ready to really ratchet up some, and it comes all into play again about the adaptability. And if I can, real quick, and then I'll let it get to KB. I don't know if it was as much about adaptability last year as much as it was trust. And I just think after a while, they, not just Justin, but the receivers and everybody just lost trust in the schemes that Getsy was drawing up.
Let's Sean. Let's put the hold on for a second, KB.
Sean, you good?
Let's Sean go ahead and touch that right quick.
Yeah, Bellissimo, we've talked about that. Man, year and a half now, season and a half. All right, get his ass under center. All right, there's so many different things, and as a DB, as a linebacker, you're a DB. You're a DB, Nomad. Like, how crazy was it when you're under center and there's a play action? You know what I mean? If you're a linebacker, you turn around and play action. Now you literally have to stop. You got to pause. Does he have the ball? Does he not have the ball? Oh, shoot, he doesn't have the ball. Well, guess what? I'm a step or maybe even 2 steps slow in getting to my drops if it's zone. If it's man, well, I may be, a step or 2 slow for getting to my tight end, and that's all you need, just that part. That makes Justin so much more dangerous when you put him under center. You put him under, keep him in shotgun, and it could still work. Don't get me wrong, but the thing is, when your back is turned to the defense and all you see is an arm extending, and you can't tell if that arm's got the football in it or not, it's deceivery. No, not deceivery. It's deceit. Yeah. Who graduated college? Sorry. English was actually my second language. I spoke Spanish till I was 4. but you know how difficult it is as a linebacker when you can't see, because now you're literally stuck, and that opens things up. Yeah, barely smoke.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that for a long time, and to get Justin underneath center and to have him work from there a lot more, it just makes sense why it boggles my mind why they wouldn't do that. I mean, sometimes, how many times have we talked how offensive coordinators like to outthink themselves? Sometimes simple is better. Simple is better, and we get a lot of people who want to reinvent the wheel on the offense, as an OC, and it's really not necessary.
Hey, KB, let me go ahead and restate the question, man, because it's important that I do this. This is Waldron after being asked what he's excited about with the pieces that are currently here, and his response was obviously excited about the quarterback position and the ability to be able to be explosive.
It sounds. I don't want to make this about, hey man, my man knows who he's getting, because we all doing the guesstimation, man. Like I said, we all kind of got a preference. I understand that. It's very hard to compare what I've seen in Caleb Williams tape to the same thing that Justin does. I get it. They kind of got the, hey, we like to play out and we can scramble, we can do ours, but that man is nowhere near the athlete that Justin is. I can't imagine Caleb rolling right, breaking a sack from a 270 some odd pound grown man, and then stepping up in the pocket and then taking off for 70 yards and, leaving DBs. And it's a house call. That's the definition of an explosive play. You can name any one of the plays that Justin had in the past 2 years where he took off and it was like he's literally the best athlete on the field. Those are explosive plays. I don't see that same play style being from Caleb. I don't see him outrunning D linemen, if anything, if the pocket breaks down like it did for that boy.
And another thing, real quick, KB, if you go back and watch any of his tape, he has yet to take a snap under center. He has not played under center at all.
So it's real RPO heavy for that kid. I think people don't understand that. It's not going to be RPO heavy offense here. It's going to be a lot of, the 2 tight end sets, under center play action passes. The thing that kind of fits into the quarterback's play style that you have now. So, I mean, I know what I took it for. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But
KB, I'm ready to eat that crow fried hard if I'm wrong.
Exactly.
I'll take it. But man, he's talking about Justin. He's talking about Justin, especially. Here's another thing. If they sign another free agent, say they sign a Daniil Hunter, like we had talked about, they're not drafting a rookie. No. You are not having a big free agent signing last year, a big free agent signing this year to have your rookie develop for a year and a half, 2 seasons, maybe 3. You're not doing it. All right. You need to win. You're trying to get in the playoffs, and that's a lot of pressure to put on a rookie. You won 7 games. Should be 9, maybe 10. So I need you to get me 10 wins this year. Coming out, new system, new offense, new coaches, new personnel, new defenses. Dude, he's not ready. He hasn't experienced the speed. You're playing against the Pac-12. All right. I know you said he had 40 and 50-yard runs. Someone said in there. Dude, those are Pac-12. Those Pac-12 schools are trash, a lot of them. All right. Then you play the Utah State. You're playing all these, and you think you're going to be able to run away from some of these dudes?
I was going to say,
toughest defense was probably Washington.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If Fields wasn't good, as good as we make him, see, this wouldn't be a debate. This wouldn't be a debate if we didn't have the number 1 pick. Let's be real. Fields didn't collapse in the Denver game. Last I checked, the defense kind of broke down against Cleveland at the end. Isn't that what happened? Am I remembering that correct?
You are.
Crappy play calling and a defense.
Yeah, let's not forget that the Browns defense at that time was one of the top defenses in the league. Like let's not sit here and stand. Let's stand on ceremony right now. If you want to be about that action, buddy, let's actually talk about what the facts were. Them games he didn't lose. And that's just being real. He didn't lose the game against the Saints when Buddy threw three back-to-back interceptions or whatever the case was. You know what I'm saying? We barely beat the damn Panthers. So we're talking about a kid coming in and changing all of this. Fields has been working with one option in 1 year. Cole Kmet has been here. Cole Kmet looked better. But nobody can say Cole Kmet is a top fucking 5 tight end.
He got Cole Kmet paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we're sitting here talking about whether or not a kid is good. The kid has been fucking phenomenal. He's been playing tied down. He has nothing. Nothing. You're playing with practice squad players in your second year. Your best wide receiver was Byron Pringle. He was the big signing for your free agency pool that second year. Like let that sit and marinate.
I think for the most part, man, I think what was interesting about the timing of what he said. He was asked a particular question, like, what about the pieces that are currently here on offense that really excite you? And the first thing out of it, he could have said DJMoore, could have said Cole Kmet, he could have said Darnell Wright was a standout rookie offense. He could have said any of that. You know what came out of his mouth first? The ability to be explosive at the quarterback position. And he wasn't just talking about his legs. He was also talking about the explosive playability downfield.
Yeah.
Huge chunk yards. I mean, when they blocked it up right, he took huge chunks out of the team.
He's one of the most accurate deep ball throwers in the league.
And he threw in there also. He also threw in there as a caveat. He made sure he mentioned off-schedule plays. And what I caught was how everything was coming together at the end of the season. He made sure he referenced that as well, about how everything was coming together at the end of the season, meaning that they are headed in the right direction.
Steve, hold on one second, man, because this kind of stuff pisses me off, man. Chubb's 82, 2,600 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, 4 games missed because of injury. He's missed games every year because of injury. No brainer draft Caleb. You know, people that do that all the time throw out stats and really, and with respect to you, Chubb, you throw out stats and then you think that's the story. That's a page in the book. That's a page. That's the intro to the book. Matter of fact, that's like the preamble or the production credits or who wrote it, who assisted it. The whole book after that and reasons why that happened. So you want to ignore that because you want to be tunnel vision on Caleb Williams, do that at your own peril. You want to come here and have the discussion about why you think we ought to draft Caleb Williams. Let's have the conversation, but let's be fair about it and give people reasons why. If you don't understand reasons why, say that. But
let me hit this aside the head.
Finish.
Actually knows. These are people here that actually know the reasons why. Whether it's stomachable to you, digestible to you or not, but there are reasons why, whether you like that or not. Go ahead, fellas. My fault. I cut off.
No, that's okay. And I'm gonna throw this in here.
Word of the day is stomachable.
That was my
I'm gonna throw this in. We have national media speaking on Justin Fields in regards to this. And 2 teams in particular they keep throwing out there. Pittsburgh and Atlanta. If he's such a bad player, if Justin's such a horrible quarterback, why are they saying if he goes to either one of those 2 teams, not only are they now playoff bound, but possible Super Bowl contenders? All of a sudden he goes to those 2 teams and he can take those 2 teams there, but where he's at, he's garbage. Come on, man. Y'all got to use your eyes, man. Use your only in Chicago. And use your eyes. The stats, you can make stats up to support whatever you wanted to support. The eye tests don't lie. Either you know football or you don't. Admit when you don't know football, because again, I keep saying this is not Madden. This is real deal football. And stop looking at if I get if you're a fan and all you know how to do is watch sports from a fan standpoint, but if you have had any opportunity to be around the game, use your eyes. Educate yourself also because this is the age of information. Take the time to educate yourself.
See,
All right.
this the other thing I find funny, and we can move off of this. I asked this question on TT, I was gonna say TTNL. Oh my god, my bad. Never mind. On my show, uh, I said, would it be fair that in those 4.5 games that Bajan played, if we would have gave Justin them same passing stats, right? I said, is that an acceptable floor? Not to say that Justin would have when it came in one of them games and went ballistic like we know he probably could have. Because like I said, that Panthers game was prime rocket takeoff for stats if Justin played. But I said let's use the Bayesian's passing yards as a floor. It's 859 yards. You add that to what Justin Fields ended up finishing with, his yards are very, very close to somebody that just won the MVP. You're looking at somebody that's probably throwing for around 34 to 3,500 yards passing. He probably has well over 20 passing touchdowns, somewhere close to 800 yards rushing. That's well over 4,000 yards total offense. Y'all telling me that's not good enough? Y'all, that's not adequate, but we just saw Lamar Jackson win the MVP off of those same type of stats. I'm just saying.
I'm well.
Don't. Hey, you know what? You can't do that, dude. Don't throw stats at stat people because and prove and disprove their theory because they don't know what to do. You can't do that to them because they blow a gasket. All right,
Right.
you can't use stats against stat people because they're like, but no, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, and you know because you're right. You remember Bajan only threw or DJ Moore averaged 55 yards in those 4 games that Tyson Bajan started. Averaged 55. He gained 200 yards in 4 games. Okay, you don't think Justin would have given him more yards, given him more targets? Come on now. I mean, this is it's comical. It's comical that some people. It's just comical. It really, really is. So I say we move off of it just because, you know, you have your. Here's the thing. You can think. Excuse me. You can think what you want. It's a free country, okay? But doesn't mean we have to agree with it. It doesn't mean we can't poke holes in it because we can. And if you want to use stats and you want to use reasons, man, we can. I told you, I'll debate with the best of them, dog. Whoever you want, whatever pro Caleb dude you want, all right. I'd be more than happy to debate with you and to show you why Justin is the guy. And I wouldn't have to use stats, but believe me, you want to use stats, I will use stats to shove it right up your nose.
Hopefully, we don't need to do that. But listen, Chubbs. Seriously, man, we're gonna move on from the subject. But I mean, like I said, you're always welcome here, man. Everybody's like family around here, whether we agree or not, man. It's a family atmosphere, man. We respect each other and everybody's opinion, you know. But you know, we gotta fight back a little bit when it comes to that, man. And that's just what it is because it's a narrow way to really view the whole big picture, man. It's a whole big old picture, man, and that's a really narrow viewpoint in my opinion, bro. But let's move on to another key word that I heard used during that phrasing of the answer, and it was ability to work off schedule. And he was referring. I'll just leave that there, man. I don't think I need to go any further than that. Keith, you want to touch that?
Well, as I stated earlier, you know, everybody is falling in love with the whole off-schedule plays. I don't think there was anybody more dynamic than Justin when it came to off-schedule plays in the NFL, other than, again, of course, Lamar Jackson. Had Justin played his final game, not this past season, but the previous season before that, he would have led the league as a quarterback. In turn, he'd have been the top rushing quarterback. So this guy, and, you know, we said we're not going to throw numbers around, but this kid is the fastest to reach, 5,000 passing and 2,000 rushing, you know, but it states something to say that this guy has what it takes. He's dynamic, man. And if you think about it, if you go and ask anybody that's a part of the league and you ask them what is the biggest problem for defenses when it comes to the Bears is the fact that they have to figure out a way to always stop him. But again, if he's not a dynamic quarterback or if he's not a more than serviceable quarterback, then defenses don't have a reason to worry about him. But those off schedule plays, man, you ain't no stopping it. And the guy is a man, 6'3", every bit of 235. And he ain't no little guy, and trust and believe, anybody that's played in the league also will tell you this. When he gets into the open field, don't many want to tackle him.
Well, for the sake of time, we're gonna get right to the next one, which is he was excited about an offense that really finished strong last year. I have said this, I don't know how many times. You look at the very beginning of the season, and there was a lot, and I mean a lot to be desired. There's a lot of reason to complain, whether it be the play calling, Justin's reactions to it, the whole kid and caboodle. But that part that he said really stuck out to me, and I've been harping on that since the season started on Twitter, on live on the show, is look at how the team trended towards the end. And that's a measuring stick. And so him answering that question and saying, he really enjoyed looking at the fact that they were, it was a dominant football team towards the end. If anybody want to disagree with that, but I think they can, but I think that told me a lot. I'm telling you, especially the Detroit game, both Detroit games and the Cleveland game in particular. Those games told me a lot about what this team can be with Justin at the lead. Detroit was their so-called best competition besides Kansas City. You're talking about Super Bowl champion and a team that almost made the Super Bowl. Beat the team that almost made the Super Bowl up twice, and that lets you know that it wasn't a fluke the first time. They let that first game get away from them.
Bingo.
Put it on them the second time. And you want to ignore that like Justin Fields didn't play a huge role in that. You can't, as a coach, you can't ignore that. As a coach, you cannot ignore that. What I see and he saw was a team that got some high-end potential with this kid at quarterback. Look at what they did towards the end of the year against those competitors. And so let's just go there. Let's just start right there, fellas.
Nomad, you talk about that the team that won the NFC North. Well, if you remember, and he talked about, or he mentioned, the team that was trending upward, or the offense, I should say. Remember that we had a free play. All right, Justin Fields hits DJMoore left side for a touchdown. Okay, then when that was at home. Was it at home? Yeah, that was at home. And then the game that they lost, all right, he gets pressure, steps up in the pocket, hits DJMoore up the right seam for the touchdown. All right. These are the types of things. So when people talk about these things, like you and they say, I love it when you say he can't hit the seam. He doesn't make anticipatory throws. He holds the ball too long. He can't read defense. And you literally show film of him doing that. Now, again, it wasn't consistent, but that's coaching. A lot of that is coaching. And think of all the good things he did with bad coaching. And the thing is really funny is people who want a pro Caleb will say, yeah, Justin Fields didn't get a good shot. He had a horrible, he wasn't in a good environment, and he still made phenomenal plays despite the coaching. Imagine if he had average coaching, not even good or great coaching. He had horrible coaching, and look at the splash plays he made. So don't sit there and say, well, splash plays get you fired. If that's all you can do, if that's the best you can do with your coaching, then yes, it gets you fired. But get him some good coaching. Watch how splash plays become routine for us. Like his second year, when Justin running for 45, 50 yards for a touchdown became routine for us, splash plays are going to come routine when you get an offensive coordinator like I think we have, who's going to work on his fundamentals, going to get his footwork right, keep his throws on time and in rhythm. It's going to be a bad thing for the rest of the NFL and especially the NFC North because they play us twice.
KB, before you answer, let me add this layer to it. This is just you can go along the lines of the question that was just asked or the statement that was just made, but here's another piece to it. he felt like we could build upon that. That's a
That's a big one.
go ahead.
You can build on it. Uh, Building on it means, hey man, we're gonna add a couple pieces to what we already got. We're gonna take this
Hmm.
thing to another level. Building on it means, hey man, I see the potential. How about we start making some of these things that were just, what I'm saying, once in everyone blue moon plays be the norm. You like to take deep shots, let's do deep shots. You operate really well off play action, let's do play action. You seem to work better under center. Let's do more plays under center. That was the idea I was kind of getting from Shane Waldron as he spoke. He wants to put his team in the best position. That doesn't even just extend the fields. That extends to the wide receivers. That extends to the running back room. Hell, the biggest part that extends to your fucking your offensive line, not the F word, because we're not using that here. We're not
That's
doing
right.
that.
That's right. That's right.
But your offensive line, how they see things, how they call protections, how they decide to protect. To me, that's going to be one of the biggest things about bringing Shane Waldron in. How does he call his plays to help protect your quarterback? So we don't have plays where we need the big play, and all of a sudden you have somebody coming untouched through the A gap, and then he has to cover up because I've been making these plays all day. Guess what? I'm tired. I'm not running no more. So what that's what I think of when I think building upon, man. That's where I'm at with it.
So let me before we go get to a station identification, let me drop this one. And this is along the line of the questioning that was asked to him, and this is him continuing to answer that question. I think somebody might have threw another one in there while he was doing it, and he mentioned these are his words. We have a QB that has played at a high level and displayed the ability to win games. He said that. So I mean, let's get to the station ID, man. We'll jump on that on the other side of it.
Best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch Nomad live pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff, and Nomad at night postgame, and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms, and only on the Nomad Network.
So, fellas, and don't forget, everybody, man, make sure you hit the like if you're here, man. We really appreciate it. If we can get us up to 70, 80 likes, man, out of 100, that'd be great. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and share the content, man. Please hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Even you, Chubbs, man, you still gonna be welcome to the family, man. No matter what, we can disagree all we want, and anybody else that has a difference of opinion in this chat right now, it's welcome here. Just want you to know that we will go back and forth about it, but it's welcome. I just want you to know this is a friendly environment. It's a healthy environment. It's I mean, just we know we see everything from all sides, and there's no need to be disrespectful to each other about it all. You can have those debates without doing all that kind of stuff. So we really feel strongly about that here. So if you're here, do us a favor and hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate that. And while you're here, also go over to Sports Zone Chicago and my boy Sean Sierra's site, and it is too. Trying to show everybody some love around here. But let's get back into it, man. I'll say it again. He said that we have a QB that has played at a high level and has displayed the ability to win. I mean, this is, he was asked questions, and this is all in sequence. You combine it all, and I didn't nitpick the presser. He said they asked him another question about whether or not his offense could it fit a rookie or a veteran. He said absolutely, but he went on to say this. So anybody can go ahead, man, and touch that if they want to.
I mean, this is self-explanatory to me. Honestly, I think it's just self-explanatory. I believe he has seen enough tape thus far, and of course, they're still going through the evaluation stage for everybody, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But I believe he's had to see some film during the course of the season while he was at Seattle, where he was doing film study to get prepared for games where the Bears showed up on some of that film. So he had to see firsthand, some of what Justin does. And he believes that they do have a dynamic quarterback that can do what he needs to do within his offensive scheme.
Well,
He
go ahead,
go ahead.
Sean.
No, I'm actually trying to find something to send you. Yeah, Chris, check the mail, and you'll be able to just post this. He talked about the offense being individual. It's not going to be 45-50. All right, people stop. And this is what we talk about, and this is what frustrates me when people say because somebody says it, they don't know what they're talking about. And I say, well, that's what Daniel Jones got. Listen, well, here's what happened with. Here's what happens when what the Bears did. They kind of helped themselves by screwing over Justin. Like, I don't think he's going to command 40-50 million. All right. Because he's 10 and 20 guys. So I think he's going to be in the $30-35 million a year range. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, we talked about it yesterday when my eyes were open. Remember, it was 242 million for the cap this year. I want to say next year,
And we're up to 80
282.
as what we can spend too, by the way.
Next year, it's 282. That's a $40 million increase.
Actually, it got released today, 255.4 mil.
This year?
Yes.
Okay, 255. And it's expected to go up to 280 next year. So again, so it's 30 mil. He's not going to be commanding all that, right? He's really not. But I digress. He said we have a core team in place, a core group of players in place, including the quarterback. Those are his exact words. Chris, let me know when you get that. You want to post a little flyer that we had made up. I used for my show today, and these are right out of his.
Where's it at, Sean?
The Nomad. I sent it to the Nomad email.
Okay.
And this is what he said. This is his words. We have a core of players in place, including the quarterback.
Go ahead, KB. Did you hear any of that, or are you just getting back in?
I just got back in, all right, so I didn't hear what the question was.
Well, we gotta. It wasn't a question; it was a statement. Sean just basically said the core pieces that he had here, including the quarterback. I mean, he was asked a couple of different things, but his response to it was, "We have a quarterback that's played at a high level and shown the ability to be able to win games."
Oh,
and we just took it there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro. I mean, that's honestly facts. Let's look at year 2 when for a 5-week period we had a top 5 scoring offense, but the defense gave up 32 points when we were scoring 30. I mean, if you don't have the talent to do something like that, why are we doing it? And that wasn't an outlier. It wasn't like the defense was giving us turnovers. He was working with short fields. No, he was just damn good. Like, there's no other word to say that. You don't think other coaches seen those plays and said he did this with, you know what I'm saying, a untied shoe and one arm. So what can we get when we let him get the full arsenal? We go get him another weapon, or we go get somebody else in the backfield, or we get another tight end. We have game changers around him that can take the load off of him when he needs the load taken off of him. Y'all don't think that's being seen? It's hard. That's hard to see.
Well, let's go ahead, KB. I thought you was finished.
Oh no, I'm good, man. Y'all go ahead, bro.
Here, let's show this image that Sean was speaking of.
A group of players, and this is for people listening to the audio stream, and he's answering a question. He's saying a group of players that's already in place on the offense, including the quarterback. And he was asked, what is he excited for? And so it just says a lot, man. I mean, the whole idea and the whole concept was to do this show and try to discern, the words that were being said. He came out there with the intention to be coy as he had to be, probably per instructions, because there's a lot on the line.
Well, not probably. Probably.
More than likely, he had to be coy because there's a bunch on the line. There's a lot resting on the choice of words that he used.
Exactly.
Now, with our discernment, and I'm looking at body language and I'm looking at, facial features as he's going, and it became clear to me that they like what they have and they just need to bolster it up because, he felt like this is something that they could build upon. This in response to how they played towards the end of the year. And this is a shorthanded team that gave Detroit all that hell and Cleveland all that hell. And so you got to like what you saw. But before we
I just want to point at something I seen. Buddy said something about your quarterback has to make your players better. Your quarterback made DJMoore have career stats. He gave Cole Kmet career stats. Your other
don't use stats against stats, people. Told you.
Hey, you're right.
they don't even mention that.
Don't use stats against stats, people.
The other wide
They
receiver
explode.
had over a 14% drop rate. So that means when he was getting opportunities, he was dropping the ball. But let's not take it there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Just omitting what you want to omit to get across the point you want to get across, man. You got to add everything to Cole Kmet had his best year on top of that. You know what I mean? But we'll conveniently omit that, man. How about that? Just to make some people feel a little bit better. But here,
damn you for using them stats.
That's right. Man, I can tell you what I do with all those stats, man. Put them in my fireplace. It's about what it's worth to me, man. You got to look at the tape, man, and see what you see, in my opinion. But before we get out of here, Chris, if you don't mind, there's a certain something. All right, I'll ask you guys this question. I'll ask myself this first, and you guys can respond. If I just tell you this, if I were Shane Waldron and I had limited contact with Justin Fields and I had to text him, which they already did, by the way, they have texted each other, and I had to give him something to work on while I'm not around him, something that he can do on his own, that I saw on tape many, many, many times as a flaw for Justin Fields. Maybe because it wasn't being coached, I don't know. Maybe he fell back into old habits, I don't know. But the speed of his drop back, and moving back fast enough and getting speeding everything up. And in this little clip, this is something that I know he didn't emphasize last year because it was a lot slower. I looked at another videotape. But this, you'll notice, watch how fast he drops back, Chris. If you don't mind, Chris. That's twice as fast.
But also, Nomad, look at can you play it again before you play it? Let me preface it by saying, watch his footwork. He's not stepping back with his left foot first. He's stepping back with his right foot first. I said it plenty of times that when they changed his footwork is when the timing on a lot of his throws went off. He's now he's back. His right foot is going back first, which it should. If you could play it real quick again, you'll see. Just watch it. Watch.
That's exactly what I would have told him to do if I'm Waldron.
Yep.
Get the speed, get back in your drops faster. You gotta get your feet moving quicker. And I'm pretty sure he probably told him or Justin probably asked him, do you emphasize which foot you move forward? No, it's not important. Just get back faster. Get back faster. Do what's natural to your feet. Here you are 2 years into the NFL, and this guy's trying to tell you to switch up stuff with your feet, man. That's kind of you gotta bury some old habits before that gets
muscle memory, bro. It's
right?
Muscle memory. That's crazy.
And you're developing him in a new concept, in a new scheme at the same time. And it didn't make sense to me. It actually irritated me because that's the last thing you want to be thinking about when you're introducing a new scheme to a quarterback. You don't want to have him thinking about that kind of same time. He's got enough crap to think about. But I just had to show that. And I remember his film from, his offseason stuff from last year. Man, he's twice as fast right now in what he's working on than he was last year. And he's going to need to be, because that was a flaw on his film. Again, I don't know if it was coached. Don't know if it was emphasized. Don't know if he fell back into bad habits. I have no idea. But I know that wasn't an emphasis of his last year. But guys, go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to say this, man, and I'm going to get out of the way today. I think the tea leaves have been set. We just have to allow ourselves to read the tea leaves. And I know I get it. Everybody's deciphering whatever's been said, wasn't said, so on and so forth. It could be and we all may have a certain feeling due to our own personal biases. I choose to stick behind our current quarterback because that's who we currently have on the roster. That's who has proven and carried this team to 7 wins this season. And until he is no longer QB1, he's my quarterback. And I'm gonna leave it with this today. A young man that's in college is just what he is, a prospect. Until he takes that first NFL snap, he's a prospect. You guys have a good one.
And you got any last thoughts before we get out of here, Sean?
I wish we could have showed that cap clip, but
I got it.
Oh, I didn't know we had a clip.
is it what? Yeah.
Unfollowing the Bears, unfollowing the NFL, that's a coward's way out. I don't want all the rumors on my timeline. I just want to go on vacation and get away from everything. Then why do you go on a podcast to become the lead story on every channel? When has the Bears ever posted about a rumor? The answer is never. So that's a bunch of BS, Justin. 2, there's a mute button. Why don't you just mute the ones you don't want to see? Or, better yet, you can delete the app and sign back on when vacation's over if that's what you choose. 3, I want the TVs turned off. I'm tired of hearing about the Bears quarterback spot. Mitchell David Trubisky, 2019. How is that any different than this guy saying, I just want it to be over. I'm tired of the rumors. Caleb, Justin, Caleb. Why don't you just keep your mouth quiet and just get off the grid, man?
Hold on.
See that?
Real quick. Hold on.
Oh,
That's why we didn't want to
Hey,
play.
listen, man. Hey, listen. I really wish we'd have did that earlier because I got to get out of here. But I'm gonna be real quick, and hopefully everybody else will be too. Listen, that guy right there, man. Let me tell you something. He says the kind of things on his show that'll get you slapped in the mouth on the street. The kind of stuff you say. I'm always careful and mindful of things that I say to a human being or another man, even if it's through a keyboard or my phone. I'm going to always be mindful of what I say about another man. Stuff like that you get away with when you're sitting behind behind a microphone in the studio that you can't say on the street, man. And I don't respect that. With all the toughness this kid has shown and to what he's gone through since he's been in Chicago, he can't have an emotional moment. Man, that's the kind of stuff that gets you slapped on the street, Cap. Just straight up, man. I don't respect that, and that's just my way of thinking. But everybody, please be quick about it, man. We got to get out of here.
My question is, who the hell do you think you are, you son of a bitch, telling a grown-ass man what he can and cannot do for his mental health, for his social media, for his way to cope with a situation that he's not happy with or comfortable with? Who do you think you are? And then when you talk about, close your mouth, I don't know. That was very condescending. And I don't know. You don't understand it because you may that's the way people talk down to people. You don't talk down to people. Close your mouth. That's the way you talk to. Hold on, man. That's the way you talk to a child. All right. You shut your mouth and you go in the other room. That's the way you talk to a child. Okay. Very disrespectful. And you know what? I wasn't a big Cap fan to begin with, but I lost a lot of respect for him there. All right. You don't have to like him. You don't. Don't talk about him like that. Because you know what? I guarantee you wouldn't say that to his face. Justin, why don't you just close your mouth and go over there? Man, who do you think you are? And you damn right. Because if Justin was anybody else, that'd be on site. On site, he gets stole off of. Like, you don't talk to somebody like that because you're with a big platform and you think you're whoever you think you are. Man, that's just being disrespectful from man to man. Man, I was fired up when I saw that.
All right,
I'll say this, bro. It's a reason why people tune in to podcasts more than what they want to listen to Chicago media. It's stuff like that. It's simple as that. I'm sorry, it's an asshole move, dog. And to me, the coward's way out is, why don't you get Justin on your media platform and say that to his face? See how that goes.
Go ahead, Keith. You want to touch that?
Yeah, I'm gonna touch it. Punk ass move. Simple as that. It's just a punk ass move, And being an old head like I am, you said it right, Sean. That would be strictly on site.
On site.
On
No need to
site.
say nothing.
On site.
site.
And this is but wait a minute, but this is coming from somebody that 2 weeks ago, or maybe even 3 weeks ago, was boo-hooing and crying. Because why can't we? Are you afraid of being great? Why can't we just be great and go for it? We got the #1 pick. Man, dude. Good thing I'm in Texas. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all have a good one, man.
You know, and the last thing before you is, you know what? And I just lost mad respect for Jay Hood too. For you to talk like even defend. I don't care if you like Justin or not. That's another black man he's talking to like that. Like, boy, watch your mouth is basically what he said.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Jay Hood didn't even say, hey, dude, you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Jay Hood didn't even stand up for him. Dude, you're done with me, dog. Not that I was a big fan of you to begin with.
Go ahead, Chris. I know you got something.
I was just gonna say I knew it was gonna be some dental work. Promise. I knew you was gonna promise some dental work, so I was like, if you want to get out, probably not the best time to show it because I know it was gonna be 10 more minutes.
I know, man.
Hey, man, Cap. You know what? Cap's after ratings. You know that dude changed the stream too much.
He gonna be out there whooping too.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever way.
There might be someone on the west side, south side who might take up for Justin, dog. You better watch it. I'm just saying. Bear fans are crazy.
Hey, man. Oh, real talk. Before we get out of here and I'll wrap this up, man, let me tell you something. Man, this world is 6 degrees of separation. I don't care where you are on the earth. There's only 6 degrees of separation. You never know when you may be in the vicinity of somebody that you offended or upset or just flat out disrespected. And so to me, that was unwarranted. And it was flat out to me and a whole bunch of other people, anybody that's sensible and just decent, that was unwarranted, man. I know you trying to generate clicks and you trying to get views and you like the hot takes, man, but you mess around and get hurt like that, man. There's a lot of people that love Justin Fields out here, dude. You better watch your mouth.
A lot of these young mugs who got no respect for anybody or anything. You better check yourself before you get yourself wrecked.
Let's try and get a big eye. But before we get up out of here, I got to leave you guys with this last thing. And thank you for coming. Come back next week or Sunday on Nomad at night, 8 p.m. Central, man. But before we get out of here, I got to leave you guys with these famous words. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.